a service of CNC Worldwide.
CNC Podcasts are a service of CNC Worldwide, brought to you by the Greece Chamber of Commerce, providing more than 800 member companies with business solutions since 1984. The National Weather Service has confirmed an EF2 tornado struck Madison County in central New York this week, destroying 4 homes in the town of Smithfield and killing 4 people. Madison County Sheriff Alan Riley confirms a 4-month-old child and her mother were among those killed. The tornado picked their house up off its foundation and dropped it on top of another house 150 yards away. At a news conference with local officials, Governor Cuomo said the state can help repair the damage, but for the loss of life, can only offer prayers and the willingness of all New Yorkers to do anything they can. Cuomo says he has now visited the sites of 11 federally declared weather disasters in 3.5 years as governor. He says that's more proof New York is now under an extreme weather pattern our generations have not seen before.
We don't get tornadoes in New York, right? Anyone will tell you that. Well, we do now. And this new normal of extreme weather is a challenge for government, it's a challenge for first responders, and it's a challenge for every citizen in this state.
As it turns out, tornadoes aren't that infrequent an event in New York State. According to the Tornado History Project, 411 of them have hit New York State since the project started in 1952. That averages 6.5 twisters a year. Up until this week, tornadoes had killed 26 New Yorkers since the 50s, now 30, and they have injured more than 350. Are they getting more frequent, though? Well, it might be more accurate to say we've been in a period of low tornado activity and are now moving back to average. Taking a look back, in 1960, there were 3 tornadoes in New York. In 1970, none. In 1980, there were 3. The same in 1990, and there were 2 in the year 2000. But in 2010, there were 8 tornadoes of EF1 or greater confirmed in New York, and in the 4 years since then, there have been 19 now. That sounds like a lot of tornadoes, but it still works out to 6.5 a year, the same as the long-term average. Plans for the University of Rochester to take over operations of Rochester's East High School have been approved by the State Education Department. Board President Van Henry White says the real work starts now. All the partners who worked out the preliminary plans for the university to become East High's education partnership operator now have to get the final plan together, and they have to get it approved by the state in December. That includes all the unions representing the East High employees and teachers. They also need buy-in from the students and from the parents as well. A very big lift, but White says it will be done.
There's nothing more that I want to be able to say that I was part of, and I emphasize, part of an effort that brought focus to how you can transform an urban district. And my hope and prayer is that when all is said and done, people will look at the nucleus of that effort, that transformative change in an urban district as being East High School. They will look at that as a pivotal moment where we recognize what it takes to turn around an urban district. And it won't be just me smiling and looking at that effort.
So the upcoming school year will be a time of transition for East High, running with the current administration, but with the University of Rochester making suggestions to help students and staff get ready for the change. Senator Schumer says $1 billion in transportation funding already approved for New York highways and railroads will go by the boards if Congress can't find a long-term solution to funding the Federal Highway Trust Fund. The trust, which pays for the nation's highway and transportation construction, is flat busted. It runs out of money at the end of the month. Attempts to fix the problem are stuck in Congress between those who want to raise the gas tax and those who want to limit the fund strictly to maintaining roads. In the meantime, Schumer's recommending a $9 billion stopgap bill to keep summer construction going. Schumer says 44 of those projects are in the Rochester Finger Lakes region alone, and without them, the region won't have a lot of construction jobs. A federal grand jury has indicted a Rochester woman on sex trafficking and other charges for recruiting a teenage girl into prostitution. The U.S. Attorney's Office says 32-year-old Jodia Campbell was one of 3 women who recruited a 16-year-old Rochester girl and transported her to Pennsylvania and New Jersey to engage in sexual encounters. Your next CNC podcast is whenever you click on one of these pages and catch one. We post updates as necessary. I'm Bud Lowell, CNC News.